Later the focus here is, oh shit! Freaking hurt! So this is going to be the most honest iPad 2020 review ever. I'm not gonna say that it's life-changing, but neither am I gonna say that it's not. So do continue to watch on. And side note guys, I only put on this at night shirt because I want to be in my PJs. And I'm gonna put back my PJs later because this is freaking quarantine life, so don't judge. Jump straight right into the point, so should we start now? Yep. So as you know, and if you don't know, I've just bought this 2020 iPad Pro around 3 weeks ago. So you can click on the link above if you're interested to see my unboxing video. I've been using this iPad Pro for like the past 2 weeks right now, and I think I gotta say it's really amazing. It will be split into 3 parts. So the first part will be how iPad changed my way of studying, and then storytelling time of how I was back then and not right now with my notes taking. And then the third part, it's whether this iPad is worth buying or not. So if you're not interested in my storytelling, just jump straight right to the last part and first part to see my review. Okay? So with this iPad Pro, I managed to do stuff that I couldn't do with a pencil and a paper, and I don't have the ability to do that. So I'll show you what I mean by this. So if I actually take psychology, so for psychology I have physiology, marketing, and then psychology itself. And then for physiology, as you all know, it's biology and it's hard and there's a lot of complicated structures in the body. So I'm going to show you one of the notes that I took for my physiology class with this iPad Pro. Hold on. Okay, so as you can see here, right here, can you see this? I think you can see this. So as you can see here, I drew this entire brain out. This whole brain structure, I drew this out with this iPad, and I don't even have drawing abilities. So I not only draw this brain out, I even drew over here this cell membrane out. I drew this pen by pen, and then I drew the spinal cord, the nerve, these neurons and everything. So I think I'll skip right into a montage of what I drew like right now. So basically for physiology, most of these complex structures, you need to draw in order for you to understand. Because if you don't draw, you won't understand. And that's from my personal experience, because like I said just now, I'm not someone who knows how to draw. With this iPad Pro, what I can do is, with this pencil, with this Apple Pencil, I can just trace out the diagram I can just search it up on Google and then trace it out and then just draw it picture by picture and start coloring these parts of these structures. But by drawing and coloring all these structures and then labeling it without looking at the original pic, I managed to remember all of these structures clearly from how it is, how it looks like, and how it works, and then how this physiology affects our psychology, which is what I'm studying right now. So all of this is something that I never knew I could do and never expected myself to do it until I got the iPad Pro, and then I started to learn how to draw this stuff. And then, as you can see here, right, just now, my notes are all in different colors. These colors would help me remember better, because if you look it up, colors are something that makes your brain remember. And then all those smaller structures such as this, if you are a biology student, you know, this thick filaments of these skeletal muscles, I drew it out, and then once I drew it out, I understood how this cross-bridge cycle works. Basically how our skeletal muscles work with contraction and stuff. And then not only that, not only for my physiology subjects, so for my marketing subjects, I can do different notes with different papers, and I can draw all these diagrams, different colors, and I can draw the hierarchy. Wait, this thing is freaking lagging right now. Life cycle of a product. And then if you have taken psychology before, you know how dull it is with all those theories and stuff. But with this iPad Pro, what I managed to do is I can just copy paste pictures. Wait, it's not focusing right now, what the heck? I just copy paste the pictures that can make my notes look interesting, and then just copy paste on my notes, and this is how it looks like right now. Done all with the iPad Pro. I know my handwriting is trash, but just ignore it because I can understand it, but people don't understand it, which is fine. The best thing is, whenever I do my revision, I forget something, I don't have to go and search up those papers. And you know, if I don't have my notes right now, because I threw all my lecture notes away after I got the iPad, but for my physiology notes, I'm only 10 weeks. The other day when I got my iPad was only like 7 weeks into physiology, and my lecture notes was as thick as this book for physiology, because there's a lot of stuff right there. And I threw that away, and when I couldn't remember stuff, I didn't went back and just look. I went up to Google and look. I didn't went back to my notes. Because all I did was taking notes, my lecture notes, and annotating down there, and I didn't take notes at all. With this iPad, and notability of course, all I have to do is I can just type it here. I just type on the search panel, and then I just search that. Say I want to search temporal lobe, and then over here I can search for my temporal lobe, which is a structure in my brain, in our brain, sorry, not my brain, and then it's over here highlighted for you. That's how easy and convenient this iPad is, which you cannot do it with paper. So that's my review, and then that's my opinion after using it for like around 2 weeks. And this is the amount of notes that I've taken in these 2 weeks is crazy. So if you try to picture it, right, if I've taken so many notes in 2 weeks, that's, you multiply it by like 5 to 6, that's how many notes there are for the subjects, the lecture notes. You wouldn't remember if you only write notes on lecture notes and memorize it, because I feel like in uni, the thing you have to do is utilize the concept, not memorize the concept. So storytelling time, skip this if you don't want to listen, just go to the honors, to the review at the end. If you don't know, and you probably don't, I'm someone who doesn't take notes at all. Like literally not at all. Before I went into uni, I've never taken notes. And all I ever do at most is just annotate on my lecture textbook and lecture notes and everything. Furthermore, I don't study for school tests, and I only study for those huge exams which we have, you know, like SPM, UPSR and PT3 and blah blah blah, those huge final exams. And I did score pretty well though, because stuff at my high school level was pretty much manageable. So all you need to do is study smart, not hard. Study smart with your brain, find the correct things to study, memorize and score. But then things changed when I went into college, in which I took 4 subjects. I went for Monash foundation years, and one of my subjects was bio. So college biology was way different than high school biology. High school biology was easy. I mean, I went for tuition, but college you don't have tuition. So when I went for my bio tuition, they already told me, okay, what to memorize and what do you need to know, what is important, stuff like this. They have a pattern there to ask you about. So all you need to do is just, again, study smart, and you are there. I scored really well in college, except for my biology. So my CGPA was high, but then bio kind of like pulled me down. but still because my other subjects were good, so it covered the bio marks. And I took in monthly become as percentage, so for my other subjects it was all 90 and above, and I even took 100 for some subjects, but bio was like 80. And during like midterm test it was like 70 plus. It was borderline good or like average. Side note, I didn't take maths, so that's how I scored well, because if I take maths I'm going to freaking fail, and my CGPA is going to be below 3.5 because I freaking hate maths. In my first sem of uni, I came across physiology, and physiology was way complicated. It was a breakdown of your entire anatomy of your body, your brain, your muscles, and blah blah blah. And yeah, no, I won't turn it into like a physiology rant, but yeah, it's breakdown of stuff. And then it was complicated in the sense that you have to see what it is like, and then what kind of hormone it releases to affect your psychology. That's why we need to take physiology. And when I saw physiology, I knew I had to change the way of my study, because if I'm going to continue doing that, and other subjects such as psychology was kind of hard too, so if I'm going to do that, it's going to pull down my CGPA. So I had to like back up and then try to improve on my biology. My first time right now, I started taking it on the first week because I know I had to change, but I wasn't enjoying it at all, nor was I absorbing any freaking shit that it's talking about. Like if you ask me back then what it is like, what is the brain like, what is the limbic system, what is the hippocampus, I won't know what the fuck you're talking about. So because I was writing down, yeah, the teacher was teaching and I was like taking notes, but then I wasn't even absorbing what's saying. It was really frustrating. I was really frustrated at myself, and they were all the cause to my problems during my first few weeks of my uni. But then, like I said, came the iPad Pro. It scored pretty well after all these note-taking sessions, because I truly indulged in it, and then I truly enjoyed it, and I truly pictured what it is like of the whole subject. I think you can see what I'm trying to point out here, because for a student, I believe that the iPad Pro is something worth investing in, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. You are like me, if you are someone who needs motivation to study, honestly, and someone who doesn't like taking notes, I guarantee you, if you already go determined, that means, okay, the first thing first, but the first priority is that you already have to go, and you shouldn't, and you are not procrastinating. I mean, you can procrastinate, but you are not slacking, you're not being idle. Then this iPad Pro is something that you will need to enjoy your study, and then you'll be able to experience the joy coming from these note-taking sessions. You have watched my unboxing video. I did mention that, and if you don't, it's okay. I did mention before that I don't think the iPad Pro is the most necessary thing to buy, and I still do. Despite saying that it's worth investing in, it's not necessary. So if you don't have the budget for it, or if you're not planning to do it, don't go and force someone to buy that for you just because you think that with this iPad Pro you are going to be freaking a genius. Certainly no, it's not necessary. It's because if you can take notes with a pencil and a paper, then this whole iPad Pro thing is already redundant. There's no use buying it unless you want a laptop, because a laptop is important, especially in college and in uni. So have a budget instead of buying stuff that's like fashion trends or like fashion apparel or any other not really necessary stuff, minor stuff. I would suggest you to get this first, because if you find yourself demotivated and you're not willing to study, and then you can't score really well, and then you know that you have to take notes but you're not doing it, then if you have the budget, go get this, honestly. It will help your uni life, and then better yet, life after uni thing is going. This little device here is, oh shit, freaking magnet. This device here is going to accompany you throughout the thing. So I've mentioned before, I'm going to mention again, just get the 11-inch one. Get a keyboard. If you don't already have a laptop, then just grab the pencil and this tablet. Done. Although I don't have the keyboard, I just want to say I can assure you that this 11-inch screen is already big enough to type your reports and with a keyboard. You don't have to get an Apple one, just get a non-Apple keyboard like Logitech. It's cheap. You can get it online for like, I think at most $100 if it's a new one, if it's compatible with the new version. And then other than that, watching yep. And then I hope you enjoyed this review, so do check out my channel, and do look forward to my next video. It's about productivity, so if you are demotivated, come check out my productivity video. So bye.